It's just right now I'm being hit by a hard progress blocker of like, hey man, I see you just chilling right there. Let's go fuck him up. Wait, please no.
Huh?
The level 90 enemies that just roam
The very
everywhere.
first area you go to, literally
That's
the big open
classic
world.
Xenoblade,
You're like,
though.
oh man, look at this nice world. I'm gonna start going ahead and grinding out some levels real quick. Then all of a sudden, a fucking giant 90 level gorilla just comes and just swats you, and you're like, oh,
It's so good.
well, I guess I'll just go kill myself.
I was really hoping that Xenoblade 2 would get some representation in Smash before the Fighter Pass ended. And I was really happy about it. It was probably one of my most wanted things was some kind of Xenoblade 2 character, be it Rex or Pyra or honestly, probably most exciting would have been Morag, but that's not going to happen because Morag's not really representative of that
cool,
game.
But, Morag's cool, but have you seen Pyra's milkers?
I guess that's fair.
Have you seen Mithra's legs? And their crack of her
Listen,
butt.
you know what? That's not important.
I see. Okay, I see.
Okay, but like, have you seen it though?
Okay, not relevant, not important.
You can't deny it, Coney. You've seen it. You know for a fact you've seen it.
Come on.
I was gonna say,
you're not a degenerate. It's natural.
I see the milkers as like as bad as the milkers in Code Vein. Like those two are on the same level.
All the way out there with that. Look, have you seen some of the bosses in that game?
Oh, I'm not talking the boss. I'm talking the characters.
Oh yeah, even the characters. Yeah.
You guys seen that that GIF of there's like this like pose you can do in Code Vein where you like punch the ground and it's like all this like power emanating from you.
Oh yeah, in the wind box.
And it applies wind to your character's like physics, and it just like makes your boobs slingshot upwards.
It's so good.
It's so ridiculous.
Her chest is eating her face.
Yeah.
And they're like exaggeratedly slow for some reason with that wind box too.
Yeah.
Great. I love it.
I know people criticize Xenoblade 2 for some of its character designs, and that's totally fair. But like, man, I love that game so much. There's like the music, the story, the characters, the combat, the world. It's like super solid all the way through.
If Rex gets to walk around wearing fucking boy shorts 24/7, and even in his second outfit, the boy shorts are still there. Then everyone else could just shut up.
That's my favorite thing. Is he gets this like character growth like glow up, and he still has the assless chaps.
I fucking hate it so goddamn much.
Bro, they heard you like Zettai Ryoiki, so like I'll just give it to everybody now.
Fuck you.
Absolute territory.
Well, okay. Well, in any case, my past month has been very strange. Stuff happened. A very emotional thing happened. I don't feel like talking about that because that's fucked up. One thing I have been doing is I've been watching Bleach.
Oh.
Yeah.
How far have you
Interesting.
I am currently well, okay, so I've been reading. Okay, so I've been reading and I've been watching Bleach.
Okay.
And the manga, I have to say, is like the most definitive edition of it. If depending on how what they do for the anime when it comes back here soon, whenever they decide to go ahead and put it out, I'm gonna say that manga is probably the more definitive edition.
That's kind of usually how they are in the first place.
Yeah. But it's more along the lines of like a lot of tone setters are kind of like really mute in the anime. Whereas like you'll have well, it's like so you have characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all using katanas or like and their katanas transform into whatever else they use and everything like that, right? It's like some dude has a giant axe. When they're fighting, you would expect like, hey man, I just got slashed or something like that. Characters get bisected multiple times. Like they lose limbs, like they lose half their body. Some people like get chopped and just straight up chopped, right?
Yeah.
The anime just doesn't show the gore.
Oh god, the anime like they don't like the manga doesn't show a bunch of gore, like you don't see intestines flying out or anything like that, right?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like you don't see like a character like Hiyori, one of the Vizards. She gets chopped in half by Gin.
God, that made me emotional when I
Yeah, I was scared. I
heard
was like,
that.
no, not Hiyori. But like no, but
You
like
would do that with Hiyori.
listen, Hiyori's great. Shut up. Anyways, fucking like in the manga, she straight up gets chopped in half because like Gen's Bankai is like he just like his sword like extends to an unnatural degree, and
Yeah.
it has extremely like and like the blade's extremely sharp, and it like anything that it comes in contact with gets chopped or like blown up or whatever thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They decide to do like the visuals, like he swings the sword and everyone's like, Hiyori, look out, and she's like, what? And she just gets chopped straight in half.
Oof.
And then like all like a bunch of characters like, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this one of those
Whereas
things where they get chopped in half but they're still good, like a JoJo situation, or is this like a
it's one of those things.
They
Well,
had to fix her.
because they're all spiritual beings somewhat,
okay?
right? Because like soul reapers are all like they're spiritual beings and whatnot. So like they function somewhat off of like human rules, but then not really. But there is blood every goddamn where.
Hmm.
True.
But like Hiyori gets chopped in half, and then like you watch the anime of that scene, and like the most it is that like he like grazes her somewhat, and then like it cuts, and like you look at the manga, and like everyone's like uh uh uh, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then like you look and like, you look at the anime, and they're like, oh damn, we gotta wait for someone to get here to help fix her, and they're like holding her, and she's like, I'm bleeding. Oh no,
Because
the bleeding
All
is
good
so
death
profuse.
scenes.
the big
I'm
thing
Yeah.
is,
bleeding.
I have really high hopes that this final season of Bleach will have more of that. Will be closer to the manga.
Yeah.
Because it's been so long, they're gonna have more budget. Like back when it was happening, along with the manga, that's part of the reason that they weren't able to do a lot is because A, it was one of the big three, so it's like targeting people like Naruto and One Piece. Um, B, they're on a weekly budget, so they're trying to put it out as fast as they can.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
So my hope is, especially with the times changing as well, because we're in a new era, and
People aren't scared to look at character like
yeah,
fucking
kind of that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I really hope that this new season of Bleach does it really well,
yeah. I'm hoping it does too, because like
because I really like the final couple arcs of Bleach. Those were fun to me.
the last arc of Bleach, and then again, I'm not gonna even spoil or anything like that, just in case Comey wants to read it or like look at it or anything like
Sure.
that. The last arc of Bleach, it has some tightening up that Tight Kubo could possibly come in and help fix with the anime.
Yeah, for sure. It was kind
'Cause,
of just
yeah,
slapped together in his head because he was trying to finish it.
Yeah, he was trying to finish it, and then Shonen Jump was like, "Hurry the fuck up!" And he's like, "I'm trying. I'm just trying to tell a story at the same time." And they're like, "Shut the fuck up! Hurry up!"
Yeah, it was a weird smattering of a bunch of new ideas.
Yeah,
What
and
I've
then
heard,
and
what I've heard
and
about Bleach,
go ahead.
sorry, is that it peaks really early and then falls off
Yes,
super hard.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I could agree with
Which
that.
which is why I'm hoping that like Tai Kubo can come in and kind of
Mm.
put out what he wanted
Mhm,
to
mhm.
happen for the last arc. Because you can, because there's like some of those fights out there. There's some of the fights in there that like you look at them, and then like a character does a thing, and then it cuts to somewhere else, and the character does the thing there, and it cuts to somewhere else, and the character does the thing there, and it cuts to somewhere else, and then like you come back and that fight's done,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you go back to the fight, and that one's like done, and it's like, what happened with that? And it's like, oh, he did that, and it's like, I wanted to see that.
Mhm, mhm.
Kind of reminds me of if you guys know Hunter x Hunter, the palace invasion, where there's like 7 different fights happening at the same time, and it's cutting between all of them, and it takes like 10 episodes for one fight to finish because each
To be fair,
episode is
though-
is focused on like one of the fights.
To be fair, though, I love that.
Oh yeah, it was very cool.
Bro, that was so hype to me.
I think the one that did it the best was Dragon Ball Super with the Tournament of Power arc, where there's
Mm.
like a bunch of fights going on, but like we don't need to see the rest of them because like it's like, hey, look, the main character's doing things.
Yeah.
But of course, 30 minutes got spread out to like an entire like I want to say what was it like 30 episodes?
it wouldn't be that if it wasn't Dragon Ball.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Cause
Yeah.
cause like with the Buu saga, it was like the fight was kind of long, and it's just like an entire arc's worth of episodes, and then you go back and it's just like, yeah, it was just the one fight.
It's not even just heck. It's not even heckin'.
Here's 30 minutes of Kid Buu beating the ever loving hell out of Vegeta.
Well, yeah, it's not just the Boo arc. That's just yeah, that's straight up Dragon Ball in general. Yeah,
Yeah, well, I mean, well, okay, it's Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball didn't really do that. With
okay,
Dragon
fair
Ball,
enough. Dragon Ball Z.
with Dragon Ball, it was like legit. They were actually thinking out like, okay, Goku's gonna do this move, but then like T and Shenhan's gonna do this move, and then like they're just gonna go back and forth. They're not gonna like do all the like, oh, we can't see them, they're moving so fast or anything like that, right? It was like, no, they were actually doing like legit martial arts moves, like going back and forth.
Yo, speaking
And
of Dragon Ball, I first watched Dragon Ball Z on 4Kids.
oh,
And
really?
then when I found out
Really?
what Dragon Ball was and started trying to read the manga, that was interesting.
And you're looking at it like, what happened?
Yeah, there's just this little
Where's the
baby
power
monkey kid with his pee out.
I forgot that 4Kids even touched Dragon Ball.
Was it Kai they did, or was it just straight up like
I
just
think
straight up
they-
Dragon, like
they
a
did
really super
Zekai,
censored
yeah.
version? It was
God,
Zekai.
what-
Okay.
Yeah,
Was
yeah,
there
yeah. I
anything they
think they
didn't
did
have
up
their
to the
hands
Boo
on back
saga.
then? Like it
I
seemed
mean,
like they were involved in like all shonen.
Well, like Cartoon Network they own the English dub from Naruto and
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh,
they own the English dub for Naruto, Inuyasha, Sailor Moon, and like and Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball was their jam. That's why they continued to try to hold on to it for as long as they could. But then the Funimation was like, "No, go away."
I feel like 4Kids is a relic of an era in which like Western executives hadn't realized that cartoons don't have to be marketed towards children.
For
Yeah,
kids,
we're still in that era. What are you talking about?
I
For
mean,
kids,
yeah, but
it's
it's a little better now. You know, there's things that
It's a
aren't.
little bit.
I mean,
the
like
reason it's
Toonami
better-
just actually airs things and doesn't like make their own stupid dubs
Yeah.
with like men who breathe smoke instead of smoking.
yeah.
The difference is that the Western world has finally realized that anime is marketed towards adults,
Mm.
but the
Mhm.
rest of the Western world still believes that cartoons are marketed towards children, and that's why we have the Kappa Act, and that's why a lot of people still believe that anime is cartoons just because they're uneducated or don't realize.
See about that eventually.
I
We
mean,
will see.
we're heading towards it because less people shun others for watching anime like they did like back when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like if you watched anime in high school, like,
I have
You
noticed
were
that.
yeah, you
I-
watched anime in high school. You were one of those like where everyone was like, "He's weird." I'm like, "Shut up, Naruto's cool."
I don't know if I've just
Kung Fu
like
Jujutsu.
been absorbed into more like groups that are more like full of people who watched anime and stuff. But like it seems like it's not really like a big deal anymore. You know, like I feel like it was like a middle
Yeah.
school, high school thing. It was like you watch anime, Lamar. But
Meanwhile,
like
now-
nobody
meanwhile,
really
now
cares.
You walk, Meanwhile, now you walk up, you're like, "Yo, you like Naruto?" And everyone's like, "Yo, what's up? Yo,
Yeah.
Naruto."
it's
Mhm.
yeah, it's becoming more widespread, and people don't frown on it because people understand that animes can be watched by anybody, and there's a lot of real adult animes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about one.
Yeah.
Okay, I
We
was
did.
thinking more like Fist of the North Star
If it, hey,
or
all
like
right, Fist of the North.
Bleach.
Okay, listen, I don't care. I don't care who says what. Anybody that's anybody. If like you mentioned Fist of the North Star, they're like, "Yep, that's the one." I feel that. Yep.
I couldn't think of anything else off the spot. I still haven't watched that anime.
I honestly know nothing about this the North Star besides that
Fist
it's
of the-
like similar-ish to JoJo, but not like derived from JoJo.
Okay, so like Fist of the North Star is like the manliest man anime you could ever see, and if you say otherwise, you're lying.
It's
What
like
about Gurren
He-Man, but
Lagann
anime
though?
and better.
No, I mean manly man anime.
Okay,
Like
Okay,
there's
alright.
never mind then.
like there's a scene, like the very opening scene of Fist of the North Star is like a dude walking through like a wasteland as these looters are like attacking these people, and like the dude's just walking through and like a bunch of buildings are falling down and he's just walking through the buildings falling on top of him, and then like the looters start trying to attack the guy, but then like the dirt comes flying off of him and like he starts revealing there's a guy under there. and then he just proceeds to just like without any hesitation, just like no problem, just like all of them just die,
Yep.
just no problem, and it's like, yep, that's the tone setter. That's what I'm getting
Sounds
into.
about right.
Yeah.
That's Kenshiro.
Speaking of manly man animes, maybe not quite the same, but I miss Trigun. I want more
Trigun's great.
Trigun.
I never
I
watched
see it.
Trigun actually.
Is that why you continue to wear the glasses no matter what?
The glasses I like separate from Trigun,
Okay.
but Trigun's great.
Yeah.
It's like a sci-fi thing, right?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi thing. It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
but
that's
then
the
it's
vibe
got
I was gonna say. That's the vibe I always got from it. Was kind of like Cowboy Bebop.
It's got
It's just like,
it's
matter of
got
fact,
cowboy themes.
it's so apt that he says Cowboy Bebop because it pulls the exact same thing that Cowboy Bebop does.
Well, yeah,
Where
because
it's like
they both have
the first part is just like
Western.
random bullshit going on, and like the last half is just like what happened. Well, God, everything's serious now.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna finish Cowboy Bebop, by the way.
Oh, you're gonna cry.
There's a very strong
Yeah.
ending in that show.
It's a very strong ending.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of mine. He was like, "Dude, the ending is so good for that like he actually modded his PSP to where like whenever he would cut it on, like how it would play that like really soothing music, and then it would be like the lines moving forward, like moving up and down and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
He actually modded it to where it played like the very last scene of Cowboy Bebop, and it's just
Jesus.
yeah, it's Spike looking at the screen saying "bang," and it's like, oh, that's good.
Oh jeez.
That's great.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, speaking of four kids is the era of like the best anime openings I've ever seen in my entire life.
The pirate rap.
You got a point
Yeah,
Yeah.
One Piece's opening is my favorite opening of anything. I have that entire
We
thing
are-
memorized.
Oh man.
Dun, 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 bum, ba, ba,
No,
ba,
not
ba, 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 ba.
no, not that one. Not that one.
one.
Nah,
Oh.
nah, we're talking about the pirate rap.
Have you guys seen the German like Naruto opening?
Naruto
It's
was
so
Pretty
good.
cool.
Sakura, the beautiful.
No, brass. The fucking the English opening for One Piece is just starts off. It's like yo, dreaming. Don't give it up, Luffy. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Zolo. Dreaming. Don't give it up, Name. Dreaming. Don't give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Give it. Oh, kids, the story goes. We find out with the treasure in the Grand Nines. No doubt.
Why do you know all the
Pirates,
words?
Sing, I'm the king of the pirates. I'm gonna be king.
I really like We Are.
Yo.
really like
His
We
name
Are.
is Luffy. This monkey D. Luffy, king of the pirates. He's made a robot. How'd that happen? Yo ho ho, we took a bite of gum gum. Yeah yo. Yo Zolo, he's just like a samurai in an LADY.
I'm so impressed. This is amazing. How do you know all this?
Because I've listened to that so many fucking times and it's embedded in my head.
Damn.
So whenever I feel like pissing anybody off in my friend group, I just start singing that. They're like, God damn it, no, not this.
I love that they centered it on yayo yayo. Like a completely meaningless sound.
It's so good. I love it so much.
One of my friends really wants me to read One Piece. He's starting to bargain with me.
Okay, what I would tell you.
Okay.
What I tell you about. Okay, what I would tell you about reading One Piece is read. Okay, go read the wiki up to the skip. There's a 2 year there's a 2 year time skip. Just go ahead and read it.
I would disagree. I would say read up to Alabasta, and then you can skip maybe.
Is there like a part that's not worth reading or something?
Well,
I personally
because
love.
there's so much.
I personally love everything. I love all of it.
Yeah. It's all good, but like, there's a lot.
But there's some really banger arcs after time skip.
The Arlong arc is really good, and it's one of the best. It's one of the best ones because like it sets up like Luffy may be stupid, but don't fuck with him.
It sets up the crew dynamic.
Yeah,
which is that's truly the selling point of One Piece. It's just as dumb as it is, like the friendship and the crew dynamic. They don't hit it as hard as like Fairy Tail, for example, where there's like, I'm strong because my friends. But bro,
yeah,
I would die for this crew.
Yeah,
there's
multiple like really deep scenes of like characters doing stuff, and they're like, "Hey man, no, this is my friend," and it's like friendship stuff, and then someone does something really cool, and it's like, "Oh, they mean this shit." Oh,
Oh, they're really friends.
Hey, my one complaint about One Piece is that Sanji no longer says crap all the time.
oh yeah.
My one complaint about One Piece
Well, he just curses now.
is that they don't call him Monkey, and that they call him
it is
Luffy.
called.
I wish that they called him Monkey. I think that would be
Why do
hilarious.
you want them to call him Monkey?
Because
there a reason?
that's such a good
Is that-
name.
is
Just be
Is
like,
that the-
"Hey,
is
I'm
that the reason
Monkey."
why you won't say the N word?
Stop!
What does
Where is this
anything?
coming from?
Hello?
Do you know what
Where
they
did that
call
come
black
from?
people?
Oh my god.
know what they call my people, right?
Jesus,
Call 'em
Jesus. Oh, all right. Not on Twitch,
Mm,
buddy. Not on
return
Twitch.
to Monkey.
Bro, I'll return to Monkey with you. Let's go.
Return to Monkey.
Man.
Let's fling poop at each other next time we meet.
Yeah. Have you seen that stupid? Have you seen that stupid ass fucking that stupid that it's a meme that someone did for Godzilla, and like it's like God it's like King Kong on the ground. And he's like, "You saved me. Why?" And then Godzilla's like, Monkey.
Monkey.
Oh, that's the perfect time for the meme. Oh,
That's really
yes.
good. Okay, I was talking about this earlier with a friend. The King Kong versus Godzilla thing. Like, I understand the appeal is that it's like these two big, Hollywood kaiju characters that are up against each other, and it's a big deal for fans of those franchises. But like, I feel like based on what's established in the lore, there is absolutely no way Godzilla loses.
Exactly.
How
Oh,
does
really?
Monkey compete with actual nuclear dragon?
It's so funny. It's so funny because like the last movie that came out, right, King of the
Yeah.
Monsters, where he fought King Ghidorah.
Uh-huh.
Like another kaiju that I guarantee you King Kong would not have a chance against.
Yeah.
To where like it was so bad that like they were like, man, you know what we have to do? We have to give King Kong a thing to fight Godzilla with because he's just not gonna win.
Wait, doesn't he have a weapon or something?
Yeah, he had a weapon in one of the trailers, and
Oh.
it's literally just one of Godzilla's fins they ripped off. That like they got ripped off during one of his battles, and then like they strapped it to a giant stick.
So
Dude,
the only way
that's
he can
so-
beat
there
we go,
Godzilla
he's
is
gonna
by
win now.
using Godzilla. I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I don't know. Maybe.
There's also some stuff in that trailer that I looked at, and I was just like,
Oh, hi, Aoife.
that's not Godzilla.
Yeah. Do you still need me?
Sure.
Oh, Diva. Yeah, you can be here if you
We're
want to.
going. We're in
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
okay,
middle.
we're in the middle of it.
Yeah, we're
You gotta
talking
jump on the
mid
train. You gotta run up
podcasting.
and catch up.
Oh,
Yes. Yo,
what do I do? What do I say?
how was your past month?
Yeah.
Let him introduce himself.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so Aoife, the way we start this off is you go ahead and introduce yourself. We've already introduced ourselves, so
Yeah, all of
Oh,
our
this
fans
week.
know us.
yeah, let your fans.
So wait, what kind of podcast is this?
It's just discussion.
It's like
Oh,
gaming, the anime,
News
Final
slash
Fantasy,
discussion.
whatever, news, whatever.
Ah,
It's
okay.
We
anything.
just get passionate and
Yeah.
scream.
well,
Yeah,
I'm Aoife. I play Final Fantasy 14. I play it a little bit too much, some might say. I am an Ultimate Raider in that game. I'm the admin of a Lalafell Discord, which is pretty cool. I haven't been playing as many other video games lately, but I like horror games when I have the opportunity to play them, when they're optimized well enough that my old PC can run them. I used to
Gotcha.
watch a lot of anime, but I haven't watched as much recently because Final Fantasy 14 took over my life. So
I'm in a similar
that's-
situation.
yeah, so that's me.
Gotcha.
What kind of anime are you into?
I watched a pretty decent variety of stuff. Kyoto Animation was the studio that almost universally made things I liked. So
Okay, fair enough.
yeah, they put out
Um,
bangers.
Haruhi was like one of my favorites. K-On! Was one of my favorites. I liked Haibane Renmei is probably like the favorite one that I have that most people haven't seen.
Was that Kyoto?
So-
Okay.
No, that wasn't KyoAni.
Okay.
That was a different one, but it was also quite excellent. Highly
I-
recommend.
I've watched the first like 2 episodes of it like 6 years ago. And And I remember I thought it was really spooky, and I was really young, and I was like, I don't know about this, and I stopped watching.
It has kind of a traumatic first episode, especially at the end. But
Yeah, it was really
like,
gruesome.
yeah, it quiets down though after
Okay.
a little bit, and then it kind of starts comfy slice of life for the first half of the first episode, and then it's spooky, and then it's comfy slice of life for like 6 or 7 episodes, and then it turns into a super serious drama again. It's really, really good.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
People
Which one is
overlook
this? I'm
it
gonna look
because it
this
was
one up
made
now.
in 2002, so it
Yeah.
kind of looks awkward, but it has some great art design regardless. Hi Bonnie Renme, it's called.
Hi, Bonnie Renee.
It's about like angels, I think. Angel girls
Uh,
or something.
Yeah, they're like, so you know the plot of Angel Beats,
Yeah.
the premise. It has kind of a similar premise in that they're people who have died in a past life and they get reincarnated into this life to atone for their sins, or something like that.
Gotcha.
It's very ambiguous, like why they're there and what the place is.
Mm.
The art style
It's
looks
so
really
good.
cool.
Yeah, it has some of the same staff that did Serial Experiments Lane, if you've seen that.
Ah.
Although it doesn't have a similar feel to Serial Experiments Lane.
I have Serial Experiments Lane on a DVD in my room somewhere, but I have not watched it yet.
Really?
Physical
Oh,
copy.
dude, it's so good.
I've been meaning to get around to it. Just I've been every single
There's
chance I
these-
get where I'm like, I'm gonna do things and I just don't do it.
There are these certain anime and like manga and all this kind of stuff, these certain types of media that you hype yourself up for. You know what I mean? And then like eventually you just you get into such this mindset, like you can't experience this unless you're hyped up enough for it. So you just never do.
Mm.
For me, that was oh, what is it? It's one of the Grave of the Fireflies. I have this great
Oh,
story
yeah.
about trying to watch Grave of the
Oh,
Fireflies because
yeah,
I was
that
on a
movie.
mission to find an anime that would make me cry. You know what I mean? Because like it just feels good to cry to an anime.
I've yet to find
Uh,
one.
So I found Grave of the Fireflies and I'm like, I can't watch this anywhere. So I bought the DVD off of Amazon. And then I went about a half a year and I'm like, okay, today's the day. I've got some time. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to corner up in my dorm because I was in college. And I'm going to watch this on my laptop and I'm going to cry. So I watched this movie. And then like when the penultimate part hits, I'm like about to start crying. And then in my mind, I'm like, nope, this can't be the end. I'm going to save the cry for the end. And then it ended. So I didn't
Save
like,
the cry.
I psyched myself out of it.
Aw.
Yeah, I agree with the Fireflies. That movie is kind of it's a slow
was-
burn, but then once you get in there, you're like, it doesn't look good. I don't know about that one. Hold up.
It's a depressing one.
Yeah, I feel like
Yes,
it'll
it
just
is.
make me sad, so I don't know if I want to watch it.
It's depressing. It was like back when Studio Ghibli, Hayao Miyazaki was like, "Yo, do you guys like World War II?"
You guys like World War II?
Remember World War II? That was
So
pretty
you guys
cool,
like-
right?
You guys
Knowing
like
Hayao-
that?
Coming this
Alright,
summer, the
check
new
this out.
movie sure to bring back all your nostalgic memories of being bombed traumatically.
Like
Oh,
the movie,
God.
like the movie starts off with like, "Hey, guess what? Yeah, all right, cool. Look at all these dying kids.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I just from what I know about Hayao Miyazaki and his absolute disgust for war, that was a really funny sentence to hear.
I feel like there's different kinds of sad, when it comes to watching stuff. There's like a good feeling sad, like a bittersweet sad, like
It's like a
characters are like splitting apart, but it's like the best for both of them or something like that, versus like something that's just bleak and awful,
Mhm.
Oh,
That's true.
it starts off super fucking bleak.
Yeah.
I mean, Grave of the
And-
Fireflies does still have a good note to end on, which is it's weird.
Hmm.
They meet
It's
up in the afterlife.
I mean, you don't care about that. That's after. I didn't care about that. Maybe it's my own fault. I don't know. They do it well. Miyazaki's a weird dude.
He's
I
a
feel
weird
like-
dude, but then he puts out bangers that I know are like Spirited Away, and you're like, okay.
Well, was Grave of the Fireflies his movie, or was that one of the other people
it
who were
was one-
directing for Ghibli at that time?
No, it was one of his movies.
It was his? Okay. I mix them up sometimes. I know a couple of them that definitely weren't his, and then there's a few that I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah, like Earth Seed. That's not his. I believe that was his son.
Brass, you know
You
what I
talking
think you
the
need?
recent one?
What happened, Brass?
You talking the recent one?
The Earth.
The-
I don't remember what it was called.
The one he walked out of the movie theater in the middle of the showing.
Did
Oh,
he?
it was like the Wind or something. Wind Rises.
Oh,
Is that
the
it?
Wind
The Wind
Rises.
Rises. Okay, I think that's the one.
Maybe I don't
His
know.
Did he walk
son
in?
made
That
one.
movie was fine.
His son made one, and according to articles, he walked out of the theater in the middle and said, "My son's not old enough yet."
Damn.
I think he said
Jeez.
my son should like stop making art or something like that.
Damn. All right.
Bro, it
It's
was
like, oh,
savage.
okay.
He like holy.
Yeah.
I feel like Miyazaki embodies like stereotypical Asian dad vibes.
Yeah.
Like the harshest possible. Anime was a mistake.
You are
My
not
son should go
prepared.
back to selling crumpets on the street or something.
Japanese crumpets.
Very traditional. Then he'd eat one of the crumpets and be like, "My son should stop making crumpets."
He really would. Brass, I think what you need is like instead of a laugh track, you need like a cry track. It's just it tells you when
I
you should
just-
be crying.
the,
At the very bottom right of the screen, it's like crying. out.
Cry now.
I just need the piano rendition of "We Are," and I'll just play that whenever I feel like crying.
Be very strange. Like every movie you watch, like the piano rendition of "We Are" fades in slowly
It's
during
not-
every
it's not
emotional
sad enough.
scene.
Hotkey, "We Are," go.
But yeah, pretty much. This month has it's not been too eventful. Besides,
It looks a little
besides-
eventful for you.
I mean, yeah. Consider, yeah.
You got like what,
Your-
like
your location of the
19,
world,
19 dogs in your house now?
I have. Let's see, 5, 6, 7 dogs now,
Man.
Jeez.
and we are giving away. We were going to get rid of 3 of them.
Yeah, you're gonna like give one to Spunky, right?
Yeah, me and Spunky are trying to figure out the logistics of where we're gonna meet in
Ah.
between, so we can give her the puppy.
Mhm,
That
mhm.
sounds really cool.
Because she has been saying she wants a puppy really bad, and like, well, she wants a dog really bad, but like the last one they got didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to figure that out. But has not been too eventful. Besides the stuff that I do, besides stuff I don't want to talk about. Anime.
The anime
Bleach.
shows this season are bangers.
Oh yeah, have you
But
been
most
watching?
of them are locked behind like Hulu and Funimation, which I don't subscribe to.
I don't
Oh.
watch. I don't use either one of those. I use a website that I'm not going to say on stream because I don't want them to find me.
I was gonna say, is this the point where the Midgar Soldiers podcast officially endorsed piracy?
Yo, so have you guys heard
Uh-oh.
of the piratebay.org?
Oh,
Go there for all your anime and music.
Fucking
No,
like
play.
A shady Yakuza guy like slips some money into your back pocket and a note that says endorse Kiss Anime.
Kiss Anime's gone.
Is it?
It's
Oh,
gone.
It's gone so many
No.
times.
It's completely white. No, like you can't. There's no Kiss Anime left. It's gone.
Oh really? Like
Yeah.
there's no mirrors of it anymore.
It was wild. That was like that was the place that degenerate pirate thieves went to
That's true.
to watch anime and break the law. Shame on them. And now they can't. Good riddance.
Shame on them as I go ahead and clear my browser history. Shame on them.
Shame.
Don't ever come back.
I can't wait to go to kissanime.com. I'd say kicking a kitten that I found on the street.
I feel,
God, I love committing crimes.
or there's the ones that will like they'll post the anime like they'll post the entire season of that anime on YouTube, but like they'll say the name is something entirely different.
I
So
haven't
it'll
seen
be
those.
there's like one that I was watching. It was Ari Ferretta over from Commonplace the Strongest, and like they changed the name of they changed it to where it was like guy loses arm and then becomes strongest guy with girlfriend's vampire, and it was like
Like a clickbait
Oh.
title.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's like
great.
it's like I want to say it was like a 3-hour video, and I was like, oh, that's just the entire season.
Bro,
Nice.
on
Come up with really clever ways to hide that stuff.
on a weird note, that's what they do with hentai.
Yeah.
I think
you can never find an
Guy
episode
blows
of
into
the
girl
hentai.
3 times, finds out it's sister. Oh,
the second half of the title is just question marks.
question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. Japan say yeah? No? Oh, okay.
I want that in every single hentai title now.
A bunch of question
They're all like
marks at
they're
the
all
end.
like newspaper headlines, and the second half is just question marks.
Yeah.
Boy
My name
creates
is
harem because
Pico?
he is so cool.
God damn it.
I
The one that killed me was Oremo, the stupid fucking my little sister can't be this cute.
Dude,
Mm.
Oremo's so good though. I love
I hate
Oremo.
Oremo.
It's so dumb. I love it.
I hate Oremo.
You have to go into it like having
I
a
hate-
couple beers and be like, I'm just here to have fun. Like
You have to
Look
hate
at her.
yourself.
it has heart and it has soul and it's funny.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does, but then like fucking the ending.
I've heard those
Fucking-
OVAs get pretty wild.
I haven't seen the OVAs. I watched the entire. I watched all of. I
I-
watched all of
I
Oremo besides
wouldn't
the
know.
OVAs, and I, was
I
like,
definitely
"I'm good."
wouldn't know. Nope. No, I wouldn't know.
He's got no idea.
Press does not participate.
Kuro Neko was best girl, but after that, everything else sucks.
I was gonna ask who is best girl for you, Aoife.
Oh, I love Kirino.
Fuck
Okay,
you.
yeah, that was me
Fuck
actually.
you.
The whole season.
Looks like we
Fuck
got
you.
some split opinions here.
Fuck you. You're never allowed to come
Intense
back to this
debate.
podcast ever.
Oh no! Banned. I laughed
feel
for
like-
5 minutes.
Banned.
Well,
I feel like almost everybody likes Kuroneko, to be fair.
Kuro Neko's great.
Number one thing that I will miss most about Kiss Anime, or rather the people who used Kiss Anime will miss most, I think, is the hilarious, awful porn ads that cover that website.
You
It's
won't last
so
5
funny.
minutes
You
playing
will
this
last
game.
5 seconds playing this
Oh
game.
my god! And my favorite thing is that they would
Grand
like
fuck auto.
they would pick like just a random like anime character and throw it in like their ad.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would recognize them, and it would be
Yeah.
really funny because it would be like, this character is not what you like. This is not what you think it is.
Imagine like they do it, but the advertisement's like, fuck hot local married moms in your area. And it's a picture of like fucking Madoka from
Yeah.
Magica or
Oh,
something like
jeez.
that.
Oh no!
It's like, I think one time I had like it was like some ad like, you won't last 5 minutes, and it was like Aqua from Kingdom Hearts. I was like, what? It's like, who made
So-
this?
So what you're
what-
saying is you clicked on it immediately.
Yeah, of
You
course,
were like,
of
"What's going
course.
on? Aqua, what are you
I
doing?
have
You're
to
supposed be
investigate
different."
this.
Yeah.
I think the ones that straight up kill me are like when you're sitting there watching your anime and you look over and you're like, oh, look at the porn ad, and the porn ad, and then you notice the GIF that's playing. You're like, I know that artist. I saw that picture the other day. That's not a game.
Oh no.
When the Persona, no, never mind. When I was browsing Kiss Anime, I had not delved that far along my journey into
Your
the
journey.
archives to recognize anything at that point.
Okay. Yeah, there. I've heard that there are some alternatives that I wouldn't know
I'm
about,
sure
but
there are.
yeah, I
I've
haven't been watching a lot
unfortunately-
this season, but I just basically ReZero is all I've been watching.
Mm.
Oh, I still haven't watched the new episodes of that.
Saw some spoiler scenes in that. Huh. All right.
You did?
Damn. Yeah, I saw some like cause YouTube.
Yeah.
I
I
like
just
I
don't watch it.
like every week I have to make sure I watch the new episode of Ruby or else it's gonna spoil it. It's like, look at this thing, and it's like
Yeah.
in big bold letters for the title, this character dies, and I'm like, oh,
Okay, here we
Wow.
go. This is my recommendation for you to never get spoiled by anime or media ever again.
just don't watch anime.
Don't
watch
watch
the
anime.
Just
I wa-
exclusively watch VTubers.
Have you seen Snuffy's new model?
I don't know who Snuffy is, but all I saw
Snuffy-
was Snuffy
There's
Pog,
like
and
90,000
Yeah.
weird and
YouTubers.
legit.
I have no idea who anyone is anymore.
Just
I
watch.
know
Grunt.
I know the shark one. I know the
Yeah,
dragon
Coco.
one. And
Coco.
I know the squid one. I think that's it.
Ina.
Yeah. Those are 3 bangers of
Yes.
some girls.
Those are the
I
top
liked
tiers.
Bittersweet Apricot. I don't watch her like on the regular. but
Oh,
every once in a while-
fruit.
Yeah. She's
She's great.
she's a Vishoujo, so I think that she's kind of like associated with a different network.
Yeah,
Also, she's
she's
like
really
English,
cool.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's that.
Oh,
But
she's got
oh man,
such a
she
really
has
nice
such a
voice.
good
Her
model.
yeah,
and a
her
good
models
rig,
rig
and her
really
voice is
well.
easy to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally love her streams with Xereas.
Oh
I haven't
yeah.
seen much recently because I think I'm not sure what's up with Xereas because she's not using her 3D model right now. I don't know if what the reason for that change was. But no, the chaos that happens with Fruit and Xereas is literally incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
And Fruit is just an adorable little bean.
She
Well-
is a good contrast to the other extremely chaotic and inappropriate members of her
Yeah.
network.
She also fits right in though.
Yeah.
True.
You know, YouTube is like the exact reason why I hate Australia so much, besides them being a bunch of criminals down there.
What the
Whoa,
heck?
whoa, hang on.
Okay. If this conversation continues on the Australia topic, I have a rant.
Where did this come
Australian
from? What?
animals.
Okay, first
just-
I want to hear
it
what
was-
Xereas means by this.
So like, okay, so like when FF7 remake was about to come out, some Australian because of the COVID that was going on and everything like that.
The COVID.
They were trying to they were trying their absolute best to not have like big groups of people and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So what they were doing was they just released FF7 remake like a week early in Australia.
Oh,
The retailers did that,
And you never forgave them.
so you were
and-
jealous of Australia.
and it pissed me off because like the biggest spoiler, because those goddamn Australians, the biggest spoiler that popped up on YouTube
What?
was the very ending. It was like the very ending fight of FF7 remake, and I looked at it and I was like, I'm gonna do my absolute best to purge this from my memory as fast and as quickly as possible. And if it
See,
ever
once
pops up
again,
I'm gonna
yeah,
kill somebody.
just only use YouTube for VTubers.
And
You'll
you
never have
blamed
this
you
problem
blamed
again.
the entire country of Australia
I
for
blame
this.
the entire country of those damn criminal Australians.
Okay.
You'll never have this problem again of getting spoiled, but you'll also never watch anything else. You're never gonna.
I just use I mostly use YouTube for like music I play in the background when I'm playing something else now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what if you could finish your mid phase without pausing? Try YouTube Premium today.
I have that's the reason why I have premium, so I don't have to worry
Oh,
about fucking,
okay.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
get
have
that
to worry
ad
about
every
where,
single
like-
time I try to pull music up on YouTube.
jeez.
it irritates me so much because like I have because I had ad blocker before, and like while we're still doing like going through Eden's verse, was it Eden? Okay, was it
Yeah,
Eden's verse?
Eden's verse.
Eden's verse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, like while we were going through it, I didn't have premium at the time, so I would set up the playlist and I would sit there, we'd be in the middle of doing our stuff, and then like it would just get completely silent during a pull. And I look and I would look over to YouTube and it's just like, hey, you still there? And I'm like, I swear,
Oh yeah, it always
No.
does that.
you fucking know.
I've not seen that. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll just stop your music and be like, you're not here.
you
No,
still there? And
I
I'm
got
like,
premium a
can't
long
stop.
time ago just because I despise ads and
You can use ad blocker.
no
right?
way to have an ad blocker on a phone except for like really jank
Yeah.
ways.
YouTube
Yeah.
Vanced.
What?
Yeah, YouTube Vanced. It's a
No.
app you can download.
Cool.
Unfortunately, I'm a slave
Gonna
to
do that right
corporate
now.
scum.
I used it a while ago, so and then I stopped using it. So maybe it's like gone or something, but it worked pretty well when I used it.
Susan Wozniak has my parents and won't let them go, so I pay her.
Mm.
Well,
I thought that was a funnier joke. My bad.
I don't know who it is. Sorry.
I think she's like some head honcho at YouTube. Wozniak,
Gotcha.
maybe he's
go
Wozniak.
beat her ass.
Well, what's his name? Steve Wozniak was the Apple guy. So
Oh, okay, so it's not Wozniak.
Well, in any case, the other thing I've been doing this month, and it goes directly into our topic, is I've been playing PS2 games.
Ah.
Oh yeah.
And our topic this week is: do you still feel the exact same way you did playing an old game from like early 2000s? And if it's a very janky game, does that game still hold do you still enjoy that game as you did when you were a kid?
First, I want to hear what games you've been playing on the PS2.
So I've been playing Drakengard 1 and
Oh,
Drakengard 1.
Drakengard.
because 2 doesn't exist. And fuck that game. Drakengard 1, and I was playing Klonoa 1 and 2.
Oh, I forgot about
Klonoa?
Klonoa. That's like a 2D
Klonoa-
platformer, right?
Yeah, 2D platformer.
So
It
are
was
these games like particularly janky, or do they have a reputation for not having aged well compared to other games from that era?
Drakengard
So-
games, they
so-
were jank when they released.
Yeah. So Drakengard 1, it was back when they were. It was back when everyone was actually doing really experimental stuff with their games and stuff like that. Like this is where you got like Def Jam, Vendetta, and like Fight for New York, or you would have just like a bunch of games that came out back then. They were like really weird, like Dirge Cerberus, FF7, just stuff like that, right? Drakengard 1 was a game that was pretty much Yoko Taro's first ever video game. He got to tell his own story and everything like that. So it's messed up and weird. It was his very first game, and like I was playing it, and my god, that game has so many issues.
It
It is
looks
super
janky.
janky.
It looks really janky.
It's super janky, and like there are PS2 games that are like very janky but playable. That game, you legit have to have the patience for it.
Yeah,
And it's
we're talking graphical issues like frame rate problems, and
it was frame rate problems. It was like actual play issues, whereas because like the main combo you have in that game for the most part is just square, 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 and like there's no lock-on system in the game. So like you'll be hacking on an enemy, and then like all of a sudden Kyle will just turn to the right and just walk off somewhere, and you're like, no, wait, go back, turn around.
The PS2 will forever like impress me as to the fact that like there are games from the PS2 that look like they're like 2 generations ahead of other games on the PS2.
Oh yeah,
It's
That's true.
crazy. Like Kingdom Hearts 2, like
Yeah.
that game is like a modern game, but like you have stuff like for instance Kingdom Hearts 1, just Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2, right? Like Kingdom Hearts 1 feels like a game that released like 20 years before Kingdom Hearts 2, and they were like 2 years apart, and they're on the same system. I don't know. It's like, and there's a bunch of other things like that, like Devil May Cry 1 versus Devil May Cry 3. Like the difference is huge.
Oh, what they are both. Wait, hang on.
Yeah,
Was DMC 3 on PS2?
Yeah, it was on
it
PS2.
was. Yeah,
Holy crap!
and like the difference
Yikes.
between those games is enormous in terms of quality.
And I mean that might, and I mean that's more or less because both those games are sequels. It might more or less just be due to the fact that like, hey, people took interest in this. We should try to put money in there. But it's weird because DMC3 got the pedigree deserved, whereas the DMC2 was like an entirely different team from the first game,
Yeah, that was sort of a
and
failed
it
project.
did not come out too well. That's why we don't talk about it.
Anyway, what I was going to mention for games that I played when I was younger, and as to whether or not they held up, I was really into Wizard 101 when I was younger, which I'm
Yeah,
sure some
my
of you guys are
man.
familiar with.
Oh yeah.
I was really into it. I had a fire wizard. I think I was Alexander Dusksong or something
this
like that.
nerd.
You know, like all the Wizard 101 names. I can always tell in Final Fantasy when people have come from Wizard 101 because
Yeah.
they always
No.
they always have the Wizard 101 naming scheme where it's
I
just
was Valdus Deathspear.
it's always like white American first name and then like some compound word of like 2 cool nouns.
Sorry, Aoife, just knowing your character in 14 compared to
Wait,
that
yeah,
name.
what it was Death
I
Spear?
like Valdus Deathspear, the Death Wizard.
And then
Yeah,
you went on to
the
make
edgy guy.
Eva for Eva.
Yeah, well, when I played Wizard 101, I was like 13, 12, that kind of age.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
started playing Final Fantasy when I was like 20 something.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Different times in your life.
I just
Different
find
era.
the gap
Yeah.
to be humorous. That's all.
It was when all of my characters were still self-inserts.
Oh,
Make
yeah.
of that
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you
yeah.
will.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, my characters are still self-inserts. What are you talking about?
Either way, on the topic of aging, I haven't gone back and played Wizard 101 in years and years and years.
Yeah.
But my little sister, who is 17 right now, spent a lot of last year playing Wizard 101 on her laptop. Last year,
Ah.
2020. So she has a decent taste in video games. I tend to think, she's not the greatest person at video games in the world, but
Mhm.
she generally plays games that are good. And she's like, I liked this, and I liked this, and I like this. And
Okay.
she played a lot of Wizard 101 last year. I was like, is it still fun? Are you still enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Has it aged okay? And she seemed to think so. So from the perspective of like an 18-year-old, 17-year-old girl in 2020, is Wizard 101 still worth playing? For her, it absolutely was, because she played many, many hours of it.
Yeah.
So I remember like watching from the side and thinking, that's kind of bizarre that that's the thing you have to do, and the spell animations take so
Oh,
long,
they take
and
forever.
it's like, oh, I wish that they would do this, but I don't know if that's as much a symptom of the game itself aging, because the technology that we've been raised on
Right.
is different, as much as it is that it's a game that was made and marketed at kids, and kids love those big flashy, boom, the fire cheetah appears and throws flames on whatever it is
Yeah.
kind of deal a million times over, more than an adult would. So I don't know if that's like a game aging as much as just you're now a member of a different demographic. But
Mhm.
at least my sister last year seemed to still really like it.
When I was playing it, even then, when in like middle school, I could tell that there were glaring design flaws with the game. Right, stuff like the questing. There's basically 4 types of quests, and that's you kill an enemy a certain number of times, you kill an enemy until it drops an item, you kill a boss, or you talk to somebody. And I mean, I guess you can say that's a pretty like a lot of games have a similar thing going on, but I think there's a lot of issues with that game's design. For instance, the fact that all the areas are, at least before before and including Dragonspire, uh, which was like the first like arc. Every world is one hallway that is dyed a different color, and they throw some enemies that conga line down the hallways. And it's like you get maybe like one unique room per area, but the rest is just all one hallway that they dye different colors. And the whole game is you clinging to like the walls and trying not to be in combat. And I feel like if your design has incentivized players to avoid combat and like uh just like cling to the walls and not like actually walk through the areas you've designed, like I feel like there's a significant issue,
Eureka.
Oof.
Hey, well, the maps in Eureka, at least, there's a certain amount of strategy that seems to go into navigating through those areas.
Build the
It
background really big.
incentivizes you to group up with other players, which I think is something that an MMO should try to do. But Wizard 101, like, I totally agree. The incentive isn't I should play with other people to make navigating this place easier, faster, because in fact the opposite is true.
Yeah.
The more wizards in your party who are fighting with you, the more enemies that join, and then the longer the fights take.
Yep.
The incentive is just stay on the sidewalk and try not to let
Mm.
anything see you.
I think it's
Gotcha.
just the combat system in that game is just it just takes so long. Like it's not even that it's like there's no strategy involved or anything. It's that like there's attacks that have like literal minute-long animations, and you can't skip them, and you got to go through every single player, and then all the enemies do all their attacks, and then it comes back around. It's just like you only go into combat when you need to go into combat. It
Gotcha.
it's a I understand. Yeah, like Aoife said, it's designed for kids, and kids I think might be disappointed if they didn't have those animations and everything. But as I think that I started to realize that there was probably a better way to go about doing this. And having now played so much Final Fantasy, when I look back on Wizard 101, I can see more clearly all these design flaws in MMO design, and the ways in which Wizard 101 like sort of is behind,
Yeah, especially for a game that continues to actually be in service.
Right, yeah.
I have a
Strange
friend
that game
actually.
still actually open service. Damn.
I have a friend who was a game design major at DSU, and apparently he and his buddies had gotten together, and I think this was a weekend, and they were kind of joking around about looking something to do, and they decided that they were going to found the Wizard 101 esports community.
Oh
What?
no. Okay.
So they got all their papers out and their diagrams and their spreadsheets and whatnot and did all their meta. And I wish he had told me about what he thought this is the meta of the Wizard 101 esports
Okay.
community.
Yeah.
But they played a lot of it over the course of a month or something like that. And then there was a guy who came and spoke at their college about game design. I think he was like a writer for some other company, not King's Isle Entertainment. But somehow this idea of the Wizard 101 esports community got brought up to this guy. And this guy was like, actually, I'm friends with this guy from King's Isle Entertainment. Here's his email
Oh.
address.
Oh.
Email him and, tell him what you're doing. And apparently they emailed him and the guy was like, that's pretty cool. Here's some money for you to go and
Nice.
work on
Wow.
this. And I don't think that it actually ended up going anywhere, but they did get money from King's Isle Entertainment for the Wizard 101 esports community,
That's insane.
That's
which
great.
I think is pretty funny.
That's
Wow.
great. Holy shit.
Man, was it just me or was like Storm like super broken? I can't have been
Storm
the
was
only
like the
one.
worst one, I think.
What?
Yeah, because the accuracy was so low.
Yeah,
They
but
had like a 70% hit rate on all their spells.
Yeah, but they did so much damage, and with like endgame gear, you could just get accuracy boosting stuff, and you'd always hit anyway.
I don't know. I've forgotten.
I had
No.
I had a friend who played Storm, and he was always like ahead of me because he played the game more than I did, and he would just walk into every fight, wait like 2 turns, cast Tempest, and everything would die. And he like never missed because he had like accuracy up stuff. I don't know. It seemed like really strong to me.
I could like message him maybe and be like, "Hey, can you tell us about the Wizard 101 esports?"
Yeah, I'm curious what the meta is. It's probably changed
be a
because
fun
the
follow-up,
game's
yeah.
been through some changes. But I noticed recently, sometimes I go back and just check the website to see what they're doing with the game. They've been updating some of the old content and bringing it up to a more modern standard, which I think is pretty neat. When I was in middle school, actually, we had to do a assignment where we had to send a letter to a company, and I sent a letter to King's Isle Entertainment about Wizard 101, and I criticized their game design, and they never replied.
And that's why Comey was never approved for an interview with King's Isle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before this turns into just the Wizard 101,
Sorry.
you're fine. Brass, what about you? What have you played?
All right.
Or at least looked at?
So, the game that I grew up in my childhood with, that I went to return to, is, believe it or not, Melee.
Oh, it's Smash Bros.
That game is so annoying to play.
It's not where I thought that was going.
Because I mean, as a kid, especially, you just button smash, and button smashing isn't something that is rewarding anymore for me in Melee. It's so much about canceling and all the different mechanics you can do to exploit the engine, all that kind of stuff. So to me, trying to play Melee after playing the most recent Smashes was just an infuriating, annoying fest. It was so hard for me. So I realize that people like Smash for its consistency and stuff compared to the new games, but the new games have made some real nice quality of life changes, we'll say.
Yeah, I get that some people like the crazy engine shenanigans you can do in Melee, like wave dashing where you're just sliding on the ground. I think that's hilarious. But like, at the same time, it's sort of like I feel like if you're playing Smash on like just like a for fun with friends casual thing, like I don't see any reason to pick Melee over any of the other games. Like, I could see
Yeah,
an
yeah.
argument for Brawl if you love the story mode, because Brawl had a pretty cool story mode.
Yeah, Subspace Emissary is fucking sick.
I found
Yeah.
Brawl
Really
just to
good.
be a good for friends one to begin with.
Yeah, and I also
one just
I
has-
love the sounds in
so
Brawl. They're
That's true.
the sounds are so funny. It's like and every hit.
That one's they tried to go dark with it, kind of like Twilight Princess.
Yeah, they
and
did.
it just comes off as kind of humorous, but
Yeah.
also like it's still kind of dark.
Yeah, but like, you know, if you just want to see like play as characters and have them fight each other, like, you know, you're gonna play Ultimate, you know, like
That's true.
you're not
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
like, listen, I love fighting games with Nintendo characters, but I'm willing to sacrifice 60 characters for my roster so I can wave dash, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's to me, I see them as completely different games with similar playstyle, or completely
Yeah.
different playstyles in similar games.
I mean,
should say.
absolutely. You know, if people like Melee, that's totally cool. I totally get, you know, the tech is appealing to some people, but for casual players, I don't think Melee really has any sticking value anymore.
Yeah, and before we go down too far down this rabbit hole, the other game I wanted to bring up was Sonic X for Game Boy Advance Video.
Really?
I thought
Oh, wait,
Sonic
oh,
X was
that's
was an anime, right?
Wait, are you
It's
talking
not a
about
game.
the
Okay.
the little episodes, like
They
the TV
sold
episodes they would put on the cartridge and
Episodes on a
watch
little
Sonic
Game
X
Boy
on your
Advance
Game Boy.
cartridge.
What?
Yeah.
They're so
You never heard
good.
I have some of those for Pokemon, for early
Oh,
Pokemon
gotcha.
episodes. Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know they
I
ever
knew- I
did
knew-
that.
Nothing
Yeah,
of
they were
Sonic
like-
X.
They were like super. I want to say like around 240p, probably even less than that.
Oh,
Probably like
yeah.
144 or something
Well,
like
it's
that.
whatever the Game Boy Advance screen is.
Yeah,
You're
but,
watching
like,
this on this little tiny. I watched it on a Game
Yeah.
Boy Micro because I had it and I wanted to see what it would be like. For those of you that don't know, a Game Boy Micro is like half the size of a Game Boy Advance, if not less. maybe a quarter.
I feel like it would look even better maybe on the Game Boy Micro because
I
Because
wanna
you
watch
can
art
see the
films on a
massive,
Game Boy Micro.
3 pixels on the screen as
Yeah.
well.
yeah.
Can you imagine like going up to David Lynch and being like, "Yeah, I watched your movie on my Game Boy Micro."
I had to switch out cartridge. I had to switch out cartridges every 20 minutes. It was all good.
Honestly, this kind of goes back to I actually had movies on. I have an iPod. Oh gosh, I don't remember what it's called. It was the 100 gigabyte hard drive iPod, and that one has like a tiny little screen, and I watched anime on that too. You could read the subtitles, surprisingly. But yeah,
Reminds me of like watching YouTube on my Nintendo DS that could connect to the
Uh-huh.
internet.
Uh-huh.
Similar vibe.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, I just that world was so interesting. The fact that someone decided somewhere to put episodes on a cartridge, and that's like the most dumb decision you could ever make, but also like the coolest decision ever.
I can
I
see
have
that
Sonic
being really
X on a little
appealing
cartridge.
to someone
Back
in that
then.
generation, you know, when you don't have like a smartphone that can store a bunch of episodes and stuff.
yeah, that was that was back before we had smartphones and stuff like
Right.
that. So like
Mm-hmm.
it was like either you had one of those super expensive portable DVD players that did not hold a very long charge. You had to like connect it to your parents' car,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
your parents' car had the DVD player installed in the actual car, so you could like watch DVDs in the back of their head. So you'd shut up and they can drive and talk to each other about how they're gonna get divorced. I mean, no.
This sounds a little too personal.
No, but like it was back then when it was like parents are like, I don't want to buy my kids an entire portable DVD player while we're driving, and then like Nintendo was like, hey man, check this out, Rugrats on the Game Boy Advance, the episode,
Dude.
just
Man.
one episode though.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you're a kid, so they expect you to watch it over and over and over again and not get bored.
I mean, I did.
Yeah.
Like I watched this Sonic X thing. Is like, there were things in that episode I completely I was experiencing for the first time because as a kid I hadn't paid attention. I had no memory of it.
Yeah, I didn't know until recently there was a Dark Sonic at the very end of the series.
Dark Sonic.
Yeah, He's like he gets like super angry about something, and like someone like Eggman comes in, he's like, Sonic, stop! You're supposed to be all happy, giddy, haha. Look at that. Now you're just being a bad guy. You suck.
It's not just Shadow.
Yeah, he just legit turns like his fur gets like a darker blue, and like he starts being like kind of a shithead, and like he like
So this
pretty
is
this is
this
like
is
the very end of the series because
this is
like
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
I
3.
was just gonna
Yeah,
say
there you go. Sam Raimi's
exactly the same
Spider-Man.
thing. Sam Raimi's
yeah, but like
Sam
for
Raimi's
some
Sonic
reason-
the Hedgehog.
for some
Yeah.
reason like the Sonic community is like, we want that. Why didn't we get that for anything else? And it's like, shut up.
Sonic is the weirdest franchise.
It really
They have
is.
taken that to so many weird places.
I gotta show you guys this video later. It's called Top 10 Hottest Female Sonic Characters. It's so funny because the guy in the video is like just really passionate about it,
Oh no.
and it's like he has these like weird phrases that he says in the like almost like they're catchphrases, but they're like really just absurd. Like there's this one part where he's talking. He's like number 8, Beat from Sonic Riders, and then he's like, if only we could see her take wing, and it's like what? My favorite one is he talks about Cream the Rabbit's mom, Vanilla the Rabbit,
Uh-huh.
and he's like his number one reason for why she's attractive is she's the average size of a human mother.
Oh, no.
The most absurd comment I've ever heard.
Dude, watch Mojo eat your heart out.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I was gonna say this kind of sounds like one of those Watch Mojo drinking games where
Yeah.
you read the title of the video and you have to guess ahead of time what is going to be in the top 10, and then every time you guess right, you drink.
Oh lordy.
Yeah.
I
I could see that being
Watch
fun.
Mojo in so long.
I know, but to kind of start, I guess somewhat start the conversation off. It's like, okay, playing through Drakengard 1 has felt. It felt like more of a chore,
Yeah.
I get that.
and it's weird because it's one of those cases in which like I played that game back when I was in like I want to say like 3rd grade.
Mhm.
And like I liked it back then. Of course, I didn't get I didn't get any of the like really. I didn't understand the really dark stuff that was going on. I was like, yeah, Dynasty Warriors kind of thing, hack and slash. Let's go, cool red dragon, yeah, swords, right? All that stuff and everything like that. I didn't notice the sub. I didn't know all the story details that was going on and stuff like that.
I
Looking
guess
at it now, I'm like, yeah, that was great. This is a great story. Oh no, not that part. Oh god. Oh Jesus. Oh no.
a weird question along those lines then is would you argue or would you think that game design has gotten more babyish as time has gone on, or is this a good thing?
In Drakengard's case, it's actually a complete total step up.
That's true. Drakengard maybe have been the wrong
Isn't Drakengard like needlessly
wrong series to
obtuse?
bring up the topic on.
It's weird. It's weirdly obtuse in which there are 5 endings. The very last ending is the joke ending that ends up being the
real canon ending.
Yeah, the real canon ending to Nier at least.
Yeah.
The first slash second ending ends up being the quote unquote canon ending for Drakengard 2, but Yoko Taro didn't write Drakengard 2, so that game does not exist and no one likes it. Plus it's just not Drakengard besides a couple moments where you're like, huh, that's Drakengard moment. But like it's weird, right? Because like because like I said, back when I was a kid, like I was like, yeah, this game is cool. All right. It was one of the first games I ever beat. And like growing up, I was like, yeah, Drakengard's cool. Drakengard's fun. Yeah. And then like I bought a copy of it when I got my first job. And like I didn't get around to playing it until I went to like a year after I bought it because it was still in the case and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I sat down and played it and I was like, I like this. because it just
Yeah, I
it
get you.
just it just doesn't feel great to play. It feels super tedious because like the very first mission, right? It's like go kill these guys. And you're like, okay, and you go kill some guys, and it's like, hey, go kill some more guys. Okay, now go kill these guys, and then the guys that want you to go fight to get into the gate, are like these like beefed up enemies that are actually doing damage to you, and it's like, God, I'm getting tired playing this. And then
And of
like,
course, Drakengard is different. It's kind of a different topic than like games that you liked as a kid, but were actually kind of trash. Because Drakengard is just not great as a video game to begin with.
yeah, and like I didn't know that as a child. Like I didn't look at like Game Informer magazines or anything, or like I didn't have access to the internet
Oh
back
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
either. So like I didn't get to look at articles that were like, this game is bad, don't play it.
There's
Yeah.
other
I
games
didn't.
that you'd play as a kid, like Freddy's
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Shadow
That
Hedgehog,
game's great.
Shadow.
whatever Freddy,
Doesn't
or
Shadow the
Sonic
Hedgehog
Unleashed, and
have
those
like
kind of things.
actually 600 different endings?
Yes.
And
Yes.
but like they're all like the same cutscene, but there's a different like name for each ending, and some of them are
Mhm.
like completely ridiculous.
No, yeah. It's dumb.
Weird.
It's hilariously dumb.
Yeah.
But it's weird. But it's weird because then like I go and look at games like I said I was playing Klonoa. Klonoa is that game is aimed towards children. You can see it.
Yeah.
You can see it in design. You can see it in the gameplay. Everything like that. It's literally just like grab enemy, jump. You can do double jump if you have enemy. Okay, this enemy will do something different if you jump with the enemy. Right? It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's not complicated. Besides like figure out this puzzle, this here, right? Or beat this boss using
Wait a
this puzzle,
second.
right?
Oh, this is the game Coronate was playing.
I think she played it. I don't know.
Yeah. I watched her play the ending cutscene. It was sad.
Yeah, but like Klonoa, that game from start to finish is actually really good, and like it still continued. It aged very well. Besides like the graphics or whatever, but like
Okay.
it's a very fun game that I also loved dearly as a child. Same thing with the Metal Gear Solid series, but that's no, but like I want to say it's a weird case by case basis.
You played some bangers as a kid, my dude. Jesus.
Yeah,
So
I had access to good shit.
I had Billy Hatcher on the game.
so when did Drakengard come out about?
Let me look at the case. I can tell you exactly when it came out. Drakengard.
Needs Google when you have physical media.
Yeah, 2003.
2003. So that was kind of like trying to do things that other games hadn't really tried to do before, right? I hear people talk about it kind of as like it's not the best, but it was kind of innovative and it set the bar for a lot of games to come after it, right?
Yeah.
Is that
So kind of the
inaccurate?
interesting thing is,
I
I
think that's
would
true.
argue that's not because of the time and people were doing that, but that's just Yoko Taro.
Well, what I'm
Because
saying
every
is that like
iteration he's done something like along those lines.
so a game like Klonoa, though, for example, where it's a 2D platformer, that's a genre of games that people had been experimenting with for years already when it had come out. You know, people had been doing them on NES. People had been doing them even before then. You have a lot of time to suss out, figure out what's good, what do people like. So maybe there's kind of a gradual, inevitable unfolding of this is what the ideal platformer looks like. And
Yeah.
Klonoa happened later in that cycle than a game like Drakengard happened, because games like Drakengard, that genre of games, that type of game, hadn't existed for 15 years already when Drakengard came out, like they had for
Did you say
Klonoa as a 2D platformer.
Drakengard is kind of like a Dynasty Warriors hack and slash?
Yeah, that's the exact reason why the game plays the way it does, because
Okay.
they were trying to compete with Dynasty Warriors.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I still argue that a lot of the things they do is just because Yoko Taro is a mad idiot genius and he does whatever he feels like.
That's why you get ending E for Drakengard, in which it's a rhythm game.
Oh man, that's so.
The
I've
rhythm
seen that.
game-
It's so hilarious.
The
Oh,
memes
it's
that are
hilarious
really
and it's
good-
so hard.
It's a rhythm
I
game,
haven't-
except the beat continues during the dialogue at random times, and there is no visual indication.
Yeah, there's no visual indication. It doesn't. It like when it starts up, it doesn't tell you, "Hey, press square and triangle to
Oh, no,
match the
yeah.
beat" or anything like that. Like it's just it throws you at it, and then it's just like go.
Because I did that in Dragon Guard 3. I still don't remember Dragon Guard 1.
Isn't
Uh,
Dragon Guard 3 is like the frame rate is like unplayably bad, right? It's like sub 10
It gets bad at
FPS.
times.
it's
Yeah.
worse than Dragon Guard 1 in that respect, yeah. I played it on an
Yeah.
emulator, and it was also really bad. Even with all the fixes.
I heard there's some recent patch for it that was like it was like 60 FPS or something.
But on that note though, Dragon Guard 3, I love every aspect of that game.
Yeah, that game is 2
Um,
is best girl.
The characters are so you would like 2, my gosh.
The
The characters are so endearing. They're so stupid. The gameplay, I actually really, really enjoyed the gameplay. And yeah, that the story and the story beats in that ending fight, truly masterpiece works. Though infuriating and frustrating, yeah. But holy moly, very good.
Yeah, I think that unfortunately in a lot of Yoko Taro's stuff, all of his gameplay takes a serious backseat to his narrative. And I know that he's probably not as directly involved with the gameplay as he is with the narrative, but it just sort of works out that way in all his projects.
Also, speaking of trying to play Nier, I was trying to play Nier Replicant, I think it was. What was the two? Replicant or
Gestalt or Replicant?
Gestalt or Replicant. I think it was playing Gestalt. The
He's playing the
stupid
big daddy.
fishing quest.
Yeah. So the problem with that, right, is that it doesn't tell you go to the other side of the lake to get the fish.
Yeah, and that's Yoko Taro in general.
Yeah.
So he does do dumb gameplay things like that, and I love him for it, but I hate him for it.
And it's funny because like Square will actually send in advisors to fight him on things they're like, no, don't do it like this, do it like this, and he's like, shut up, my dream.
To explain, in Nier, I think it's like the third or fourth quest of the game. You head to this port town, because you need to get a fish. And I don't remember what you do. I think this fish can help heal your daughter or something like that, or daughter or sister, depending on which version you're playing. So you go to this port town, and you talk to a dude right at the port, and he's like, "All right, I'll give you a fish. I'll give you a fishing pole. Go ahead and catch this fish." And I spent 3 hours trying to catch a fish because he tells you these aspects of the controls, and he's like, "All right, do this, do this, do this. Use your sticks this way, whatever." Pretty bare bones explanation. And you cast out, and you move the control sticks, and then the character moves because you failed it. It's literally less than a half second. Every single time. I finally caught one fish, and it was a can. So I got really mad.
A can.
I was looking all over the internet how to catch this dumb fish, and they're like, "Yeah, the quest in the game says go to the port, catch a fish," or something along those lines. And then finally, I'm exploring everywhere, every possible place there could be an access to water in this place. Finally, like, you double back into the town, and there's a secret cave to a cove where you go catch the fish.
Yeah. Needlessly obtuse game design is very frustrating sometimes.
It's really frustrating.
Very frustrating, and I feel like it'll actually affect who comes in and who comes in to want to play your game.
It's true, and Yoko Taro kind of doesn't care.
Yoko Taro is
It's a weird hate in an endearing way. Because once you learn who Yoko Taro is, like these gameplay problems become more of a, "Oh, you got me again, you idiot," rather
And,
than
like,
like a, "This game is broken" kind of thing. It's an interesting dynamic.
I feel like Yoko Taro is that guy at the fighting game tournament who's like, he's like, "Hey, you want to play his game?" You're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you know how to play it?" "Yeah, I kind of know how to play it. Are you gonna join the tournament?" "No, I'm just not good enough." "Well, why don't you just get good, kid?" "All right."
I when you were saying like the whole fishing saga, you know, it reminded me of my experience with Kingdom Hearts 1, which also has a lot of needlessly obtuse game design. Like
Mm.
there's
Cook the
stuff,
potion in Tarzan's
yeah,
world.
there's stuff like I mean the entirety of Tarzan world. It's just like you get absolutely no indication of where you're meant to go, and you just sort of wander aimlessly until cutscenes happen. Uh, It's like, oh yeah, I was supposed to backtrack into the tent so that I could talk to Donald Duck. Like what? It doesn't make any sense. And there's stuff like, oh yeah, I can't progress in Aladdin world. Oh, I was supposed to go to Aladdin's room and push his dresser, and there's a secret button behind it. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, you know?
The absolute limit of knowledge I have of Kingdom Hearts is that one video of a cutscene of where Donald Duck is like, "We should hide behind this rock. The wind will be safe here." And then he just
He gets
disappears off into
blasted.
oblivion.
Yeah,
Oh, are you talking about fucking
that's
Kingdom
from
Hearts 3?
that's from 3. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the
That is
fucking
all I know of Kingdom Hearts.
Frozen world. The Frozen world's the worst world in Kingdom Hearts 3
Yep, definitely.
by far. Like it's the worst world that I've ever had the displeasure of being able to deal with. The only upside to it is the fact that like the final boss of that world is awesome,
Yeah, the boss is pretty cool.
and then Larxene is cool,
Yeah.
but she's only there for like one or two cutscenes, and then she makes
She's got
and she
about
just bounces
a
out.
minute of voice acting total.
And she's like, "Hey, you're losers," and just bounces out. And you're like, and I'm like, "Come back, wait, talk to me more.
Okay.
I love
Treating it
you.
Okay, buddy.
like Kingdom Hearts.
Wait, I love you. Come back."
Yeah. Another one I wanted to talk about was in terms of a game that I played when I was younger and how it aged. Well, funny enough, it's Skyward Sword, which they just announced a remake for yesterday.
It should have been Twilight Princess. Fuck you.
They already did Twilight
I already
Princess.
did Twilight
No,
Princess.
on
It
the
was-
Wii U.
Ah,
Not
yeah,
I
it was a
guess.
trash port. It was really bad.
If it still let me play it
True.
on a newer system, now let me
It's
play it
true.
on Switch.
I think that'll come over eventually, to be honest. Anyway,
Better.
Skyward Sword was a game that like I remember I really enjoyed playing when it came out. I sort of a meme with my sibling and I that I will never finish Skyward Sword, despite liking it so much. I've restarted the game like 6 separate times, I
I
think.
hate that. I'm the exact same.
Because I'm like, oh, it's been so long, I gotta restart it. So like the thing is like I know the beginning so well. I'm like, all right, let's go. I want to see the stuff I haven't seen. Um, and that game gets a lot of hate from the community, you know.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it was mostly the control issues.
yeah, and I mean that's fair. But I honestly really enjoyed it. I thought that the upgrades were fun. It was linear, but I really don't mind linearity in games as much as other people do. I think. Um, the dungeons were great. I thought the items you get were fun. I thought that like from an aesthetic and like world perspective, it was really cool. I think
The
it's
sand
the most.
area was terrifying to me.
The sand shift is such a good dungeon, and it's got a really nice relationship between Link and Zelda, which is not something that most games in the series do.
Twilight Princess does not have a great relationship with Link
Yeah,
and Zelda.
it's like a
Like,
lot of times they just kind of show up at the
midnight.
end and team up, you know, or it's like they don't really know each other. Or it's like
Yeah.
Skyward Sword is like they have this like organic
Their
friendship,
childhood
and it
friends,
feels
and
like
yeah.
they actually care about each other, which is really cool.
Childhood friends, they're gonna get married.
And I haven't
I
gone back
refuse to
and
accept that condition.
I haven't gone back and played it in a while, but I honestly feel like it would still hold up for me in a lot of places. It's
Super
obviously
sucky.
there's obviously many legitimate criticisms, but I don't know. I thought it was good.
I feel
Well,
like
now with
Skyward
the updated port of the game, you can now play it again with better controls.
I'll just break out my Wii U and finish it. I'd feel terrible if I bought it again.
So coming from the perspective of somebody who didn't play Skyward Sword, I do remember when it came out, and I do remember the discussion around the game when it had immediately come out, and when it was being talked about in the reviews, people were saying, "Oh, this is a 10 out of 10 game. It's the best Zelda game that's ever been released. It is fantastic. It can do no wrong," which is the thing that happens with every single Zelda game that comes out. Every new Zelda game is always, it's the greatest one in the entire series. It's my new favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
It's better than Ocarina of Time.
It's always the bar, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But every single time this happens, and people say that. So it seems like, from what a lot of people have been saying about Skyward Sword who played it since then, from what I've heard, or even who played it around that time but didn't really read reviews, they were like, yeah, it's pretty good. But that's the
Okay.
thing, is it's pretty good, and it's being compared against the 10 out of 10, masterpiece that all the reviews allegedly are making it out to be. So when you go in and you read this Game Informer review or whatever, and you expect the greatest Zelda game that you've ever played in your life, and it's just a 7 out of 10,
Oh, interesting.
then
Okay.
it looks so much worse than it probably actually is on its own. Like, I'm not saying that means it's a good game or anything, or that it means it's excellent, but it is kind of a bar of expectations thing, right?
So you're arguing that it may not necessarily be a 10 out of 10, but it's probably not the 7 out of 10.
It's probably
that
not the
people are
worst game in
experiencing.
the world. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a similar effect with Cyberpunk to an extent. This game was
Okay,
hyped
yeah.
up to all hell. It said it's going to have all these expectations. It's going to have this, it's going to have this, it's going to have this. It's going to be the game to redefine what it means to play a video game. And then it comes out, and all the people who were actually expecting it to be the game that redefines what it means to play a video game were sorely disappointed. And they said it's horrible, it's awful, it's a buggy mess, because it didn't live up to the expectation that people had set for it. But the people
Yeah,
I know who kind of bought it for $60, and they were like, I'm not going to go in expecting anything. I'm just going to play it, and hopefully it's fun. They were like, yeah, it's a perfectly good game.
I love
It's
the
maybe
little
even
things
like an
Cyberpunk
8 out of
does.
10 game. It's just not the greatest game in the world. So don't expect it to be the greatest game in the world. So I feel like that expectation maybe poisons our perception of games, because then a mediocre Zelda game is a horrible game in our heads, because we expect every new Zelda game that comes out to be a masterpiece. So when every once in a while it comes out and it's not a masterpiece, people absolutely lose their minds.
Black or white.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I get that. How do we wrap this up?
I don't.
I don't
I
know.
guess. Well, I guess the definitive answer for the actual conversation would be it's a case by case basis, in which
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's an extreme case by case basis, because I
Yeah.
could be like, man, Metal Gear Solid 3 was the worst game. That's not.
Better not
true,
say
but-
that.
That's no. I would not
Even
say
the
that.
dog doesn't like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Oreo was like, hey, fuck you. Don't ever say a shit. No.
You got your childhood games like Smash, and you got your childhood games like Billy Hatcher.
Yeah. Or fucking Tack and the Power of Juju, and someone's like, yeah, man, that game is awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that game so much.
I didn't
So
get
dumb.
to play, I didn't get to play that game back when I was a kid, because my mom was like, that's teaching you about the devil.
I played it like twice.
What?
I
she-
played the hell out of the cat games, dude. They
Like,
were fun.
She was like, she was like, that's teaching you about the devil. That's bad. And I was like, Mom, I'm playing a game called Devil May Cry 3. What?
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that one
No,
you're fighting the demons. It's different.
No, but it's like, it's a case by case basis, in which no matter what, you'll probably try to find something about the game that you like.
Yeah.
And no matter what, the game could be probably the worst game in the world or something like that, and there will still be someone out there who says that, no, this is my favorite game.
Nostalgia is a powerful performance enhancer.
I find that if it's a game that I really enjoyed when I was younger, it's unlikely that there's going to be nothing that I like about it now,
That's true.
Some aspect of it is still, I think, going to be innately appealing, even if I found games that get that niche better,
Mhm.
Like Wizard 101. I don't have any reason to return to Wizard 101, because anything I could want from Wizard 101 I have much better from Final Fantasy. But I don't despise Wizard 101,
We do despise WoW, though.
Yeah.
Do we? I don't. Is that the policy here?
I just
Well,
I despise WoW because when I tried to play it as a young kid, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was like, I don't enjoy any of this.
It's
I think it's
And looking at it now, I'm like, I hate the art style. It looks like trash. Ugh.
yeah.
I think it's kind of important to distinguish between whether it's the game that's aged or the person playing the game that's aged.
Mhm.
Because, you know, if you're going back and trying to play Croc on the PS1, and back in the day everyone was like, this is great, but nowadays people hate it because it has tank controls, you know, that's different than that's a different thing than you were trying to go back and play Croc, and now you don't like it because you're not really into kids games anymore. You're not into the aesthetics of, oh, this was made for children, or it,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
colorful and whatever. So there's something different about the game aging versus the person aging.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's a I'd say that's a pretty good bow tie for to wrap it up.
Yep. I do gotta get some food before I I'm not able to get
Starve
any.
to death.
Yeah, before I starve and die.
Oh yeah, they close in like 45 minutes, don't they?
They close in 25 minutes.
25
Oh,
minutes? Oh, they
boy.
changed it since I was there.
I'm sure that's year specific.
I don't know. It was
It
always
might be-
7:30 every year I was there.
It might be a COVID thing. I don't know.
That's what I'm
It
thinking.
might just be a Comey sucks. We're gonna keep him from getting food.
That is very
We're
possible.
gonna deny him the food. Comey,
Yeah.
He'll never
if you
know.
haven't tried it before,
Mhm.
order the spinach feta cheesy bread from Domino's. For whatever
Okay.
reason, the Domino's there makes good spinach feta cheesy bread, and none of the other Domino's anywhere I've ever been to make the same quality
Interesting.
spinach feta cheesy bread.
Huh. All right, I'll try it out.
All right.
All right,
Oh,
gang.
well.
Well,
Now, well, next week we'll have an entirely different topic of discussion. Well, not next week, but the week after next.
Next
we'll
week
have-
we're gonna talk about porn.
we don't have to.
Comey has to watch like 5 hours. of
I am
porn.
not watching
Comey has to
hentai to
finish that
research for
manga.
the next episode. It's not happening.
with his roommates.
Who is your favorite male star?
We are not doing that.
You're like calling people over from the other bed. You're like, hey, I know you're studying for calculus right now, but do you
This is
think
really
that's
important.
possible in real life? Pointing at the screen right there. What do you think about that right there?
Oh God.
You think about that? Is he getting in there? Is he getting in there good? What do you think?
What is
on
the
a
limit of
1 out of
human
10,
body?
how would you rate like this frame here?
And it's just he's just standing there with no pants on. Comey's just sitting there very awkwardly, just
It's like one of those pizza guys shows up to the door things, and you're like, what do you think about this as you eat a slice of pizza and look at your roommate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
GG's. See you next week. I also need to go.
Yeah.
Thanks
I'll-
for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Eva.
Matter of fact, the topic next week will be. I had it somewhere. Where is it?
Oh no.
I had it. I know somewhere. Duh.
Look forward to the announcement on twitter.com.
Okay, it will be the censoring ruin the tone of whatever media it's involved in.
All right.
Does censoring ruin the tone of media?
Now, hopefully we can get Brass here on time.
It was only 5 minutes late.
Don't make us fire you, Brass.
I've already been fired from my static many times.
No.
Fire. I like how he says many times, as in like, yeah, I got fired and they brought me back.
Bro,
Like,
honestly though, they actually fired me once, and they're like, "We're gonna look for somebody, but you can work with us while we're looking for somebody." And then they never did. So
Damn.
I'm grateful
Thanks.
for that.
on time, so I guess we'll keep him around. No, he did it.
All right, GG's though. I'll see ya
Yeah, I'm gonna
later.
stop the stream.
He
Yeah,
eats
Thanks
my
for
ravioli.
tuning in.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. Anytime you
Yeah.
need somebody, let me know.
Sure,
Talk
yeah.
it up.